George Friedman is founder and chairman of Geopolitical Futures, a company that analyzes and forecasts the international system. And we are very glad to talk to you tonight, sir. Welcome to the show.
Glad to be here.
And let us start from the Donald Trump international policy regarding the allies and enemies of America. In geopolitical terms, has Donald Trump policies improved or worsened the stance of the United States?
They've continued the Obama policy. Obama had a number of principles. The first was to pull our forces out of the Middle East. He's done that. Secondly, after Ukraine, to provide a light cover for Poland and Romania and confront the Russians so they can't go westward without hitting Americans. And he's continued that and strengthened that. And of course, it was the Obama administration that began the hostile actions towards China, accusing the Chinese of manipulating their money, accusing them of not allowing the Americans to export goods to China. And Trump has, of course, extended that. So what's really interesting about Trump's foreign policy, speeches aside, is that it's been a very stable one, and including the fact that at this moment in history, Europe is not the center of attention of the United States. We're primarily focused on the Pacific, where we have a substantial alliance system. And the Europeans are very happy, it appears, to be fighting with each other instead of us. So it's good.
It was Donald Trump that started to complain about Germany's role in the NATO and Germany's input to the international relationships, especially with trade relationships to the United States. This is the position of Germany is something new in this puzzle?
Americans have been very bitter about Germany and NATO. The United States has only one transatlantic relationship structured, and that's NATO. And the Europeans have basically abandoned NATO. They've abandoned NATO in the sense that NATO is a military alliance. You can't have a military alliance without a military, and the Germans don't want one. So on the one side, the Germans don't want us to shift troops out of Germany to Poland, for example, but they will not build their own military structure. So the American public, and remember, many Americans have served in Germany during the Cold War and remember these issues. The American view of the Europeans is that they have violated their relationship with the West, particularly Germany and France, that they've abandoned the basic structure of the NATO relationship, which was shared risk, and that they've tried to load all of the responsibility of this on the United States. Now, the difference between Trump and, for example, Obama or Bush is Bush and Obama understood American public opinion on this. They did not push it very hard. Trump did push it. Trump wanted to shift troops. He had a close relationship to Poland. The Germans were not altogether happy with that. So what we've seen here is something that has been very deeply felt in the United States, something the Europeans were not aware of, and Trump has given voice to it.
Right. When we see the German internal discussion, they are also very hostile to Germany and patronizing United States. Germans are patronizing the United States and telling the Americans how they should vote, and obviously they should vote out Trump. Why Germany is doing that?
Well, Germany, ever since 1871, has been one of the centerpieces of Europe. The fact that in World War II, Germany behaved as they did, well, the generation that's there now doesn't remember it, or it's ancient history. And Germany is desperately trying to lead Europe. Germany exports over almost half of its GDP. It must have access to the markets of all European countries. It sees the United States opening its door to the British as they withdraw. And Germany, under the current circumstances, is not necessarily advantageous to all of the European countries. So it is very popular in Europe to blame the United States and to attack the United States. It costs the Germans nothing. The Americans are equally unpleasant to them, but Germany is just not that important to us. What all of this is really important to is the European countries that are part of NATO or part of the EU, because we're watching Germany trying to increase its strength within the European Union. I mean, the way they treated the UK was extraordinary. This is the second largest economy in Europe. It wants to leave. This is only a treaty organization, not a country. Rather than facilitating a velvet divorce, as the Czechs and the Slovaks did, they have made it as difficult as possible. So what you really have to understand is that this is about Europe. This is about getting Europe aligned with it and using the United States as something to use as an example of how they can beat it. It's domestic politics from our point of view.